Yahoo, Prof here, and today we've got another tech update for you. Alright, so here's another tip. This is my PC repair system, Drybones here. Look up Drybones 2020 to see this exact build. We'll have a video up on the channel soon. I shot it a bit ago. Pro tip though, when you're doing backups, backup to an exFAT formatted hard drive, as it will not maintain file permissions. That way when you go and restore it on a different computer, you don't have to deal with it saying, well, you need an administrative user, or this user doesn't have rights, and have to go and change those permissions. It won't have those because it will not transfer them. Super duper duper handy. And that's also where a Hotswap like this comes in. You just pop open the door, chuck your drive in. This is a Trayless, what I prefer to use if at all possible. Close the door, and as long as you have Hotswap enabled in your BIOS for those specific SATA cables, you're good to go. Start accessing your drive over here. Alright, next up, I apparently have a new hobby, and there's a Hamlet. Yep. And there's a Gertrude's. And that hobby involves mice. Here's one, SteelSeries Rival 106. There's another. I bought two in case I break one. And that is modding mice. This is actually a fairly low-end mouse, the 106. What we have here from Kailh is, if you guys have been watching the mouse guys at all, they were super into the Kailh GM4.0. And this is the second gen one that has the very obvious writing on it. The Kailh full red ones like this. Well, what has since come out, and part of the reason why I got the second one of these, is these are the Kailh 8.0 switches. I believe those were 60 million clicks, and these are like 80. So far, just playing with the switches, these seem a little bit softer on the click, but don't require as much force compared to those. What I plan to do is do my newer of the two mice with the 8.0 switches, see how it goes, and then do the older of the two mice, this one over here that I've used for a couple months, with the 4.0 switches, just to have a comparison. Then eventually I do want to get a new cable. Now the 106 is by no means a standard mouse, so I won't be able to just go out and pick one up that somebody's made. I have seen a couple places that do custom mouse cables though, and as long as I can figure out, or I can take pictures while I have it apart of the connector in there, someone should be able to make me one. And I might even go with a little bit shorter one, since I don't need, super long wires. Probably go half the length even, because usually I have a USB hub on my desk. So if you know anybody that does custom, or you've seen a link to somebody on like Reddit or a website that does custom mouse cables where I can choose the sleeving, and the bigger thing would be the internal connector, I have to imagine this SteelSeries shares with either older SteelSeries or at least other brands, if not the new ones. And then I'm going to try out the 8.0s tonight. I'm going to swap left click, right click, and back and forward. I use back and forward all the time on a lot of mice, including this 106. Main clicks are actually pretty decent. Back and forward buttons are in a completely different league. And I go with the way of doing things like the Death Adder up until at least the Elite version, where the side clicks were just as good as the main ones. Now, because I went to better main clicks, it has worse side clicks. I argue it still has some of the best side clicks out there. And here we've got some lube came in for my skateboards. They ran out. I use a little bit more than they recommend, but rather have too much than not enough for skateboard stuff. That's just hardware. It didn't end up fitting Squeers' longboard that he had. And these are speed washers. They go between the wheel and the axle, just so that it's not riding directly on the bearing, and you can tighten things up properly. Now there's one more thing we've got going that I'd like a bit of input from you guys on. We're out in the TV area here. Oh, and if anybody's interested in a phantom-based keyboard that's going to be mostly pink with white keycaps. I'm working on that full custom one. It'll be fully programmable. Hit me up. So here's what I did. You saw in a previous video, I broke my 360 controller. Well, we've now got a PlayStation 4 controller. Got this nice blue. In person, that purple's a bit darker, but PlayStation 4, quite a bit nicer for playing Tony Hawk. So that's what I'm mainly care about at the moment for the home theater PC. Right now, we've just got it plugged into this little hub. That's a enterprise or industrial StarTech hub. Requires a power supply. I just hacked together a Molex one to go in there. But I could not get this working via Bluetooth and natively detected by Windows. USB works fine, not Bluetooth. Is this correct, or am I missing something? Guys, let me know in the comments. Appreciate it. So it turns out that Tony Hawk's going to be out here shortly. I might stream that at some point. Let me know if you guys are interested. Otherwise, if you have any feedback, anything else you would like to see, let me know. And as always, I'm at the Prophecist on pretty much all social media, and the website is the-tech-exchange.com. See you in the next one.